Hello, welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 270. This is your host, Shaun Tudor.
And this is Sam. And this is a talk episode where the tutors talk. Nice. She had no interest in any toys, and then as soon as we started talking on the podcast, she was then interested.
Yep.
What's up, babe?
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Well, we had our first experience with a speaker canceling.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's fun. This is Wednesday night. And so we thought on our toes. Found another guy that does automation and was able to plug him in. He's available to come speak in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to move the lineup around and stuff, and everyone was willing to do that. But so, yeah, the what would you call it? The keynote?
Yeah.
The keynote, the last speaker of the day canceled for personal issues. So, pivoting. Jason Lund will be closing us out now.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be inserting Don on automation.
That'll be good.
Yeah, it's all going to work out good. Everything's going to work out. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun. So, yeah, it's good to have a network of people. So, like, the individual we had speaking about automation is out, so who can we pull in to speak about automation? Okay, boom, done. There we go. And
right.
so...
And, I mean, we're lucky this year because, like, the weather's not weathering.
Right.
So, I mean, if it would have been how it was last year in February, we would always, like... You would always have to think about that, too. Like, okay, like, it is February. We do need to make sure, like... we have a backup plan if there's a huge snowstorm and speakers can't come.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. But we were lucky this year where we didn't have to worry about that.
I was going to ask you something.
That's like the third thing in the last half hour that you've completely forgotten.
I know. I don't know why. Too much shit, maybe.
Mm-hmm. You probably have way too much stuff going on in that head of yours right now.
Just fucking ripping, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Ripping.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I got for you.
I love that.
What's new with you, babe?
Should we say it out loud? Can I say it?
Oh, yeah.
I am going full-time tutor transformations. I'm put in my 3 weeks. So by the time this comes out, I'll have a week and a half left. So yeah, that's kind of exciting.
Very exciting.
We both just had stressful days at work, and I told Shaun, I was like, this is ridiculous because I'm getting stressed out by my W-2 job. And then Shaun was having some issues, and I was like, I could easily fix this. So it was just kind of like finally the switch of we need to switch my priorities from my W-2 job to the business I actually own. So it was I think it's a good time. It's a good time for my W-2 job for me to step away. They're all settled, and it's not like too drastic or like it's not going to hurt the company if I leave.
Right.
So yeah, it's just good timing, I think.
It would be very helpful.
I have so many like plans and ideas in my head, and usually by the time I get home from my W-2 job, I just can only do medial tasks. I'm never able to do any of the big projects that I want to work on. Plus, I only have like 2-3 hours in the afternoons to work on things, and I really need to spend whole 8-hour, 9-hour days on a lot of the things I want to implement and do. So yeah, so that's exciting.
Sense. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, that's about all I got really going on in life. REI-Con's this weekend.
REI-Con's this weekend. Very excited for REI-Con. Yeah, REI-Con will be really good. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to Friday night.
I'm looking forward to Sunday morning.
I am also looking forward to Sunday morning.
I'm not saying I'm not excited for the event, but I mean, if you listen to people like who have put on events like that, like we've heard it from Rob Bailey. It's a stressful time. Like things happen. You always have to be prepared at all times. But just the feeling once it's done, you've accomplished everything that you could. You put on a good event for people. Like there's nothing better than that feeling of accomplishment once it's done.
Yeah, I think Bedros Keuilian talked about it or whatever. I think it was him. He said like there's certain things a man should have to do, or like a certain thing a person should have to do. I think he said man, and one of them was put on an event.
Yeah.
He's like, you will learn so much about yourself by putting an event on.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff you have to do, a lot more than like meets the eye. And then you can also appreciate when you go to events the shit that people like had to do, so you have more grace for them.
Yeah, and I think this event was so stressful for us because like we made like a whole website for this. Like we did a lot of things that most events don't need, because like anytime Andy and Ed put on an event, it's on their like coaching group's website.
Right.
Arte. So like they didn't have to design a whole new website for it. Like they already had it displayed on a website they have.
Right.
And like if they post anything, like thousands, tens of thousands of people will see it.
Right.
So like the amount they have to advertise is so much less than we had to as well.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's just like it's a new business. It's a new thing. Same thing with everything else. Same thing with the starting a bootstrap business. Like you got to go through all the little things to get there, and since we don't have resources, we have to do most of it ourselves, which means Sam does most of it because I delegate, because I know what I'm good at, and it's not that shit.
Yep.
So I'll talk to people, I'll go mingle.
Yeah, and it like, I mean, not saying like you and AJ aren't well known, but you're really not.
We're not fucking known, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a couple hundred people know us.
Yeah, so that's really a downfall, because I mean a lot of the people that are going to the second event, it's people we already know.
Yeah.
Or like not like like acquaintances of somehow like they've come across us with Whiskeria or at other kind of entrepreneur events, or like through friends of ours. So it's
Right.
it's a great learning experience, and like that's one thing, guys. I'm really excited. It's finally gonna happen. I know I keep talking a big game, but it's finally gonna happen. I'm quitting my job, so now I'm gonna actually have time to do cool shit with Tutors of Life.
Let's keep the receipt on this bitch. So we fucking...
You gotta give me some transition time.
Okay.
But I'm hoping by April 1st.
Okay.
That gives me a month and a week of transition.
Okay.
To get some reels going,
All right.
Get the vids up on time, unless if we're podcasting late Sunday night, then it's going to have to happen midday Monday, but that's fine. We should have a podcast space in the office by then too, I would think.
Okay.
Maybe not, because we have to buy more stuff, because we're going to have 2 podcast spaces. This will probably be more of our talk space, just you and I in here. And then probably most of our tutors with guests and stuff will be at the new one.
Yeah.
But at least reels and videos and posting more consistently on Tutors of Life Instagram and YouTube will be happening April 1st.
Dude, I've been wanting this forever.
I know, and I haven't really had the mental capacity to do it. So It is an excuse, I know. But
I don't even got excuses, dude. I just don't want to do it, so I don't do it.
do you not want to, or are you just unwilling to learn how?
No, I would be willing to learn how if like I was able to give off some of my work.
Your other work,
Yeah, it's just that like I mean, honestly most days like and I say this and I'm not exaggerating. Besides meal prepping or so like these are the things that are included in this. Work, tutors of life, meal prep, gym. I am typically going from 5:30 a.m. till 8:30 p.m.
If not until 9:30.
If not to, and like I'm not exaggerating, that is typically it's at a minimum 5 days a week. Typically Saturday and Sunday I'm still like including if we include like making sure I'm eating right, meal prep and the gym, tutors of life and work, I'm still putting in 10-hour days. Like I'm not exaggerating when I say like between like just getting my normal lifestyle shit in, not jonesing, not hanging out, not doing that shit. 15 hours a day, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
Most days 14 hours a day.
And that's what it was so funny because one of the other managers at work, she asked me one day, I told Shaun about this. She asked me like a month ago, like, how many hours do you think you work in a week? I didn't count the gym either. So I mean, that's another 45 minutes, 5-6 times a week that I didn't count in my hours.
Right.
But I was like, yeah, anywhere from like 60 to 75 I probably work in a week. But like I go to the gym on my lunch periods at work, or on Saturdays and Sundays we'll go on random times. But yeah, I mean if you count all the gym time too, yeah, we're constant going.
Yeah, well that's what I do too. Cause like I will just randomly fit in the gym, or like jujitsu at like 6:30. I just like fit that shit in because that's just part of like getting into my daily shit. And same with meals, same with meals and meal prep. So like I just look at that all as like getting after it, working. And so yeah, like my downtime relaxing is typically 30 minutes to an hour and a half a day.
Yeah, it was like a treat for us this weekend. Like on Saturday, we're like, okay, we have all this stuff to do. If we get done, we'll watch movies and build Legos. But I built Legos. Did you clean your guns this weekend?
No,
that
I
was
built
2 weekends
Legos.
ago.
Yeah, I built Legos.
Oh yeah.
But when did we get done? 7 p.m.
Yeah. So I mean, actually, it was even later than that.
8. Yeah, we got done in the basement at 8.
Yeah, because we didn't come up
Till
here.
midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like 8:30.
Yeah. So then I mean, we cut into our when we're usually sleeping time.
And then we got up at 6:30 instead of 5:30.
And
Yeah.
this past Friday was, I mean, the first time we really got to go socialize and hang out with friends since Kayla's birthday.
Yeah.
So like a month, over a month.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'd be willing to learn reels and I'd be willing to do more when that shit clears up. And it'll clear up. Like, I just know it's a push right now. It's just part of life. I know it's going to clear up. And when it does, then I'm willing to do other shit.
Yeah.
But ideally, I could get my, like, main shit down, like, between the gym, diet / meal prep, and work. If I could get that down to, like, 11 hours a day, 12 hours a day, man, that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't think people realize, like, how much we just go, like, constant. Because, so at my work, like, we sometimes get Legos, so I bought some Legos. I've been buying Legos before I leave, obviously. And so someone asked me, they're just like, oh, so, like, do you build, like, all these Lego sets in the afternoons? And I was like, no, I don't have time. They're like, what do you mean? And I was like, I run my business in the afternoons. And I was like, maybe one Saturday a month.
That's it. 1 to 2 Saturdays a month.
We get to build them, but I was like, now that I'm quitting, I hope I can build them almost every night.
Yeah.
But most likely probably still not, because Sean and I don't know how to have lives.
I fully don't expect things to. I expect to keep pulling like. I expect 14-hour days to continue through the rest of the year.
For sure.
It's just how it is. Probably middle of next year. I'm hoping middle of next year if I could cut down, like I said, middle of next year if I could cut down to like 10 hours. 10 hours a day, that'd be pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, our goal this year is to like be able to enjoy weekends a little bit.
We ain't doing that this year. Maybe we will. I don't know. That's gonna be tough.
We're just not gonna work on the business, I think. Because we talked about it, like doing some of the stuff like on the outside of our house that we haven't been able to do. I mean,
oh sure,
that's still technically work.
Yeah,
but it's like personal work instead of all business work.
Right.
Because right now our weekends are all business work.
Right.
So our goal this summer is to spend more time on our personal projects and stuff like that. Maybe go side by siding a couple more times.
That'd be nice.
And actually like enjoy some of the toys and things that we do have.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah. So that's the goal.
Yeah, with you coming on board, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
I do.
Do you remember, did we talk about this on the podcast or was it just in our own time? That we made a list of things we needed to do before we could build a sauna and a ice bath?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember talking about this?
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was on the podcast or if we
we made the where the list is.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, one, it's February, and I was like, I don't remember fully what that list said. I know on it was to build 2 new garden beds and to build a fence around the garden beds. That was for sure on there. And there's a little piece of trim in the stairwell. Other than that, and landscaping, obviously, but...
Yeah, we said landscaping.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the rule was the only way we do that is if everything else is done.
Yep.
It was something like all the work around the house is done, all the work around the yards, everything's done before we can do that.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I just couldn't remember what it all was.
I'm gonna be really honest with you.
Yeah.
I just do a cold shower every morning. And it really sucks.
Yeah.
I couldn't I would do it. Now I know I would just fucking do it. But God, dude, a cold plunge would be so cold. It would be cold, dude. I know right now that a cold shower's cold.
Yeah. A cold plunge?
Motherfuck, that's gotta be cold, dude.
I like that one that we saw where it has a temperature gauge in it, so it stays at a consistent 45 degrees or whatever.
Yeah, I'd keep that bitch at a steady 50.
Yeah. I think that's what it was 50 actually. The people that fucking just have chest freezers and just let the whole top layer freeze, fuck that. No.
Bro.
I'm out. Done.
You know what? Those motherfuckers got stones. Think of that. You're hopping into 31 degree water, 30 degree water. Bro, what's wrong with those people?
I don't know.
They're fucking psychos, dude. I watched a chick get in a bikini in one.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Cereal.
There's that bitch. I shouldn't say that. There's a chick with the colostomy bag.
Yeah.
Who will cut a hole in the fucking lake and go hop in the lake. Have you watched her do that?
No.
She's on, I don't know, day fucking 500 of cold plunge every day. And she cuts a hole in the goddamn lake and hops in the lake in a bikini. I'm like, are you mental?
That's insanity.
Bro, these people are crazy.
That reminds me. So, Sean and I have talked about this. Women just don't speak at the gym. We just don't talk. Which is fine. Yesterday, when I left, though, there's that other really jacked short dude. Really tan, buzzed hair. I know you've seen him before. Anyways, I always see him at lunch. He's a lunch worker router. I was leaving as he was coming in, and he we made eye contact, and he did the head bob thing, and I was just like, hey, I was like, oh my God, I've never done this to a dude.
Jesus.
Anyways, but today at the gym, there's these two girls. And I always like start off in a sweatshirt because I'm always cold. But I have to wear like minimal clothing because I overheat really bad. And it's just not a good time. Shaun
And
knows this.
you just want to look like a gym thot.
No, I overheat.
All right.
I had this really nice long sleeve top. I remember I had to stop wearing it because one day I like got like way too hot and I was just like panicking. I was like, I can't, I'm too hot. Anyways, besides the point. So I always have my sweatshirt on. So there's these two other gym thoughts there. Both of them short ass shorts. When like they're rolled up at the bottom too. You know when the women do that so their asses stick out more. The one just had a white sports bra on. I hate white sports bras. And the other one had like some long sleeve top on, whatever. They're off doing leg press, so I was like, cool, whatever, I don't care. I was like, other fit chicks, that's cool. I was doing dumbbell bench press. And then the one girl brings her stuff and like kind of like slams it all on the bench next to me. And, like, goes and grabs a 25 plate, throws it on the ground. Just, all her shit's just everywhere. Blocking the path, even. Like, it's everywhere. I was like, okay. Weird. She just starts doing goblet squats. Heel elevated goblet squats. That's all she was doing. And I was like, interesting. And then her friend gets off the leg press and comes over too. And dude, did they remind me of some college frat boys having a bukkake on the weight bench. Oh my God. And I just like stayed in my tunnel vision and just did my workout. I was like, this is extreme. But then that was like my first thing I was doing was that. So then partway through, I took off my sweatshirt as they're next to me doing their bukkake. And I was just like, I am not trying to one up you at all. I'm just hot. It was very weird.
Yeah.
And then I talked to this girl in the locker room. She was really nice. Her name was Elena. Her and I were talking about how so she's training to be in a bodybuilding competition. So she was taking photos in the locker room. She was like, sorry, I just need to send these to my coach. And I was like, no, I totally get it. And she's just like, I feel weird just taking pictures of myself in the mirrors in the gym. And I was like, oh, I totally get it. And then we started talking about how all the high school boys like to flex their biceps. And she's like, I'm always so tempted to just stand next to them and just flex because my muscles are bigger than theirs.
Ballpark me the age.
Her age?
Yeah.
She's probably early 20s.
Okay.
Blonde hair, long blonde hair.
Okay.
She's a sweetheart. I've talked to her before in the locker room because she asked me about how to get a locker with a lock. Mm-hmm. She's like, can I just throw it on you? I said, go talk to Keith. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so she was super nice. And she's like, I should really just stop procrastinating. And I was like, what, you haven't worked out yet? She's like, no. And I was like, get after it, girl. You can do it. Dang. Anyway, so that was my gym day today. It was very weird.
Interesting.
More girls than guys again.
I need to train in the fucking lunchtime.
You do. Lunchtime's great.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Just usually doing shit.
Yeah. Mondays are usually pretty busy. But, like, yesterday I went and there was 3 people there.
Monday's always busy.
Yeah. Today there was actually not a lot of people there either, which was nice.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know. I like my lunchtime lifts. It's probably one thing I'll miss, but, I mean, I guess I can still do them once we have the office. Once I'm at the office.
Mm-hmm. Like, go down and lift, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my exciting day. Nothing ever happens at the gym for me. And so it was just back-to-back excitement.
Gym's an interesting place.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah, so yesterday we went to a musky tank mixer.
Oh, yeah, we did that too.
And they had a gentleman there speaking. His name is Andy. He bought a business last year in August. So he was discussing, kind of what the the challenges have been in the first 6 months of business, and how buying that and taking that over and stuff's been going for him, which is kind of neat, and how we found the deal, funded the deal, stuff like that. Oh, sorry. So it's kind of fun to listen to and hear, because definitely something I want to do down the line is buy businesses.
Yeah. It was a good reminder to a lot of things that, like, Shaun and I have known, but, like, have forgotten.
Yeah, a lot of that shit, like, you don't really learn. There's so many things now that I'm not really learning. It's just reminding me. And even Rob said that when we were getting coaching from him. He's like, you guys know this shit. You just need reminding.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's so true. And he says he's like, I know this shit. I just need to be reminded. And all of it's so true. It's like, it's up there. We've heard it before. We've thought about it before. Maybe we hadn't thought about it for 3 years. What's like the kid Chance that was sitting next to us? Guy Chance? Kid, he's older than me. Guy Chance sitting next to us. He brought up like whatever, and I'm like, dude, that's just a business plan, a business model canvas. And then I was just going over everything on a business model canvas. I'm like, I haven't even thought about the business model canvas in like 4 years.
Yeah, we don't have one for Tutor Transformations.
No, I'm like, I don't even have it for my business. And I was just like, oh, this is what's on it. And this is how you do that. And I was just like, what the fuck? Why didn't I make that for our business? I'm like, what am I doing?
That's going to be one of our future tutor episodes, by the way.
Yeah, it's just, that stuff's kind of, it's just being there, and like, between the presentation. Oh, sorry. Between the presentation, between speaking with like a couple people there, it reminded me of shit that like I know, I just forget about. I'm like, fuck, that's cool.
And also, like, just the premise of owning a business, so simple.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
simple.
So simple.
But like Chance was saying, his issue was not just like running the business. It was just like all the other stuff. So like he didn't really know about like accounting and taxes and stuff like that, or like managing people is not easy too.
Right.
So there's other things that make it difficult, but just the premise of owning a business, and like especially if it's just going to be you and like a little side hustle, it's pretty simple.
Dude. So when I was talking to Sharon and Carter today, they were like, Shaun, like, how do we they're like, what do you do to get around paying so much in taxes? And I'm like, well, one, you're just going to get shafted. You're going to pay taxes. But I was like, you know, if you got your LLC, it's like you got your insurances, you got your vehicles, trailers, tools, meetings, networking, travel, like for going to learn shit, all your materials, and an office space. You know, I'm just going, I'm like, but I'm like, and then, you know, when you deduct all that stuff, like, you end up not paying a crazy amount. And they're like, well, we can deduct all of that without doing an LLC. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And they're like, then why wouldn't we just do that? And I'm like, you can. But it's just, I think it's just cleaner in an LLC, right? Yeah. And so they're asking me about some more questions about like LLCs, S corps, and like certain like filing and, you know, all this stuff, writing stuff off and whatnot. And I'm just like, guys, I was like, this is all so simple. It's all so simple. I was like, you go speak with an insurance agent, you speak with an attorney, and you speak with an accountant. I was like, everything you guys are asking me, I was like, you go spend $500 to $1,000. You're going to talk to those three people, and you're going to get every single question you have answered. And Sharon's like, yeah, 5 to 10 hours, you have all the answers. And like, yeah, I'm like, you don't have to be stressed out about it, right? Like, cause Carter's like, man, that's a lot of shit and stuff. I'm like, no, dude, I'm just like, go and, you know, talk to those three people and you know the answer. And then Sharon said the greatest thing in the world.
What was that? She
said, yeah, she says, take 5 to 10 hours of discussion, writing, everything. And she said $500 to $1,000, right? That's like a nothing investment. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you think about it, to know what you need to do for $500 to $1,000 in 5 to 10 hours of your time, you know what you need to do. The greatest thing she said, then you're going to spend the next 100 hours trying to implement it. And I was like, Right you are. So, like, and that's not, I mean, that's 100 hours outside of the normal work you're doing.
Yeah.
And she said, trying to implement it. Because
Oh,
you
God.
got to just, the first 100 hours is just figuring out how the fuck you're going to implement it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got thousands of hours of implementing it after that.
Yeah.
But I was like, fudge, is that true, dude? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we talked to with Chance yesterday. It's like, and that's what we talked to with Logan and stuff too, is, it's not it's so simple. What we do is simple. What I do, it's simple. Don't mean I don't work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean I'm not always doing something. Doesn't mean I'm not always trying to learn more. Always going to networking events. Always doing things that I'm not comfortable doing, so I can like learn more and be like stressed. Going to the gym all the time to like have some level of release to just go right back and get like your shit pushed
Shafted
in.
again. Yeah.
But it's simple.
Mm-hmm. It is. I finally caught up on your Instagram videos you sent me today. Actually, did I catch up on them? No, I think you called me while I was in the middle of it. The Cody Sanchez one was interesting about all these startups starting to fail. Because one of them was Bird, right? Bird, because there was like the Lime scooters and Bird scooters as well. So in a whole bunch of these startups started doing really well when the economy was doing well, and then with the low interest rates, they had very high evaluations.
Yeah.
And then instead of working off of their profits, they worked off of their evaluation. So all these promises that they had, and are now starting to file for bankruptcy.
Yeah, I got to rewatch that one, but yeah, it's so true, and it's
That's one thing to keep in mind, is working off of your profits, your actual profits, not
expected profits. You know, or you have a year or two that's good. Don't expect that that's gonna continue, dog.
Yep.
Don't expect that's gonna continue. It's
No, I don't think there's any career path that is just always consistent. Because like right now, e-commerce is starting to go down.
I know one business that has gone up every single year for over 20 years. I know one business.
Like an actual business, or like a career type of business, or like a...
Nope, a small business in the area.
Okay.
I know of one that's done every single year has went up over 20 years. Greg, House of Wonders cheese business. The only dude I know, the only guy I've ever met that has gone up every year with his business. The only guy I know.
Interesting.
Only business I've ever heard of that done it. Over 20 years.
That's impressive.
Insane.
Because like every other market like has its waves. Like housing has its waves. Restaurants has like anything service based has its waves. Because if the economy's doing well, then everyone's gonna go out to eat more. Everyone's gonna go get drinks more. Everyone's gonna go buy better houses. But when the economy's not doing well, then that's when people stop going. They lower how much they're gonna go out to eat, or they stay in the house they're in instead of moving around.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Cheese.
You gotta think cheese is always on the shelves.
Yeah.
And when you don't have the farm, so your costs don't go up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? He's a middleman. His costs don't go up. And I've talked about that with general contracting a bunch. As, like, if you're a general contractor, if it was just, like, a standalone general contracting business, right? Just one person to start out. Just if it was just me and you part-time.
Yeah.
General contracting for the first 5 years. Then we grow and add a couple people, whatever. Our overhead is nothing.
Yeah.
And so, sure, like, everything then is just, like, closing more deals or, like, you know, aligning more subs and stuff. So, if there's a downtime, okay, that's even better. Now you just got to go do sales harder to get a couple guys who are willing to come in and bid the jobs cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And then when times are good, those guys are might be charging a little more because times are good, but then you can charge more, you know?
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's certain things, like when you're the middleman, like I think about that a lot as like being the middleman and the only overhead you have is you and like a little office.
Yeah.
And you're just the coordinator. It opens you up so much to huge profit margins.
Yeah.
And not having you have so little risk. You're just you don't have to worry about paying employees.
Mm-hmm.
No, you know, you just.
Yeah.
But anyways.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's just different. It's just a different type of business.
Yeah.
But so Cody Sanchez talks about all the time though. All the little businesses, you know, the individuals, the blue collar workers and stuff that are in their 50s who are retiring, and we just heard about a gentleman sold his title company.
Mm-hmm.
From Ryan told us about that. Gentleman sold his title company, and it's like, oh damn, dude, like there's so many opportunities out there to get into business. But I'm gonna tell you the number one. No, I'm gonna tell you the two biggest issues getting into business right now. Price, risk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything else besides price and risk. Those are the two biggest things. Because people don't understand the time commitment.
Right.
People have no idea what the hell they're signing up for, and so that's not even a question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people are just scared.
Yeah.
So people are just scared because of a potential risk and money.
Yeah.
So
it's not like, I feel like it's the same thing with like housing right now. Is so many people think that their shit is worth gold.
100%.
And like, sure, when interest rates were low and evaluations were high, doesn't mean your business is actually worth that.
Yeah.
So it's we haven't really looked in it too much because one, we want to make sure like we can make our own business successful before we add more businesses
100%.
onto it.
Yeah, 100%.
But like that's another thing is, it's just like we were talking to a gentleman about taking over his business.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work out because there was a whole bunch of contingencies that were like, this makes no sense. And we would have been better off if we would have just started a new one.
Yep.
In the same field.
And talking to him, like, you know, it was the question that was asked last night that is very true.
Yeah.
What am I buying? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, what am I buying? Well, you're buying a book of business. Okay. Well,
it didn't include the name. We couldn't have the name of the business.
Couldn't have the name. You could have the vehicle and the tools and then some of the material and then the book of business. But I'm like, the problem is the book of business belongs to the franchise. Mm-hmm. So like, how do you, it was a lot of interesting things, but even then all you're buying for the price he wanted, all we were really buying was a book of business. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm not really.
And like, there was some future contracts, right? That he had signed, like future jobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we had some work that was coming up and stuff, and so there's some interesting things, and I mean really a lot of those times when you're buying a business like that from a small business owner, you're typically buying the book of business, mm-hmm. and you're typically buying the name.
Yeah.
Because most small businesses don't have processes and operations.
Yeah, no.
It's not self-running. Everything's reliant on the owner. When I worked at the machine shop, mm-hmm. that was so prevalent. Like, the owner had to come in every week to answer. The previous owner had to come in every week to answer questions. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, that's not good. Mm-mm. Like, you can't. The gentleman that was speaking last night, Andy, what he said was the owner has to stay on for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And then after the owner stay on for 3 years, he can continue staying on and keep his book of business. I think that's genius.
Oh, 100%.
Because how many things are you going to run into in the first 3 years and right down the hallway is the previous owner? Mm-hmm. it's gonna be huge. And then what you have to do in those 3 years is get as much out of him as you possibly can, so when he leaves, you can run the show.
And I think that's so smart too, because like that business specifically, there was 4 team members, and they all had been there for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So by keeping the old owner on, then that helps you retain those other employees. So he said he did end up losing one, which was fine. But still, he was able to have 3 employees that
Right.
all had been there for 10 plus years.
Right.
So then very easily you can just sit there and watch, let them do their thing, learn how they do things, and then you can kind of tweak things.
Right.
But you always have the old owner there to ask, like, hey, have you ever tried doing this?
Yep.
Why do you do things this way?
Well, and the respect. If the old... Killing myself here. I don't even know what's going on. If the old owner is there and showing you respect, there's a lot more likelihood the other team members will show you respect.
Yeah.
If you just go in, the old owner leaves, they're going to be like, why the hell should we listen to you, pal?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's. I think there's a lot of good things there. And, you know, we've talked about partnerships a lot, you and I. And partnerships in an aspect like that, like we've talked about that, buying businesses, we would almost want to buy the business and keep the owner on as a part owner.
Yeah.
Or if someone wants to like do a business together, like Andy and his partner, it's how you would do it, because you have somebody with the business financial backing, and then you have somebody running the day-to-day operations, and I think that shit's really important. But the biggest thing with that is like there needs to be clear roles. And that's what's so tough about starting a business with partners, is the partners understanding their roles.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult.
It's so hard, like, when you start a business, because, like, roles aren't clear. Because, like, a lot of times when you start something new, you have to do a lot of different things. And you're just like, I know once we start making money, then we can hire someone to do this, and we can hire someone to do that. So you have to get through that brutal period of just having to do everything and anything until you can make money to pay someone to do some of those things that you don't want to. So starting is way harder, just because you have to divide literally everything and try and you both will have to do stuff that you don't want to.
Dude, that's what he said yesterday too. He's like, I knew that starting a business was never an option because I needed income right away.
Yeah.
Makes all the sense in the world, dude.
Yep.
That's how it goes. You just and we realized that, like, just the other day it finally like clicked for me. Yes, I may want to specialize in interior renovations. But before we can do that, we have to keep the guys busy and keep work coming and build a name. And so, like, if we get exterior work, we're doing exterior work. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, like, we have to get the income anywhere we can get the income.
Get the income, and as we build our name, build our reputation, people will understand what we, like, want to be known for, what we want to like strive to do, and that's when we can lean into that more. And maybe at that time we realize that we get so much of both, we'll just have crews dedicated to each.
Right.
Which I'm honestly, I believe that is the way the business will go. But the couple things are like, we just need to keep getting income.
Yeah.
We need money. Money is the most important thing in business to stay in business, because the only way you lose is if you quit. And the only way you quit in many ways. But a big reason people quit is because they don't have the money. And so the money aspect is the most important. It's huge. And I think building that, the biggest thing is I see these companies. I see so many companies. And they go so big, so fast. I see a lot of companies that go really big, really fast. And I see a lot of companies just one to two guys, three guys maybe.
Yeah.
So there's something about like getting to the medium size, like George's company,
Yeah.
Rock and Tate, is like getting like a medium sized company like that is, I think, really can separate you from a lot.
Yeah.
Because you get past the 1 to 2 man show. That is cheaper pricing, typically, not always.
Yeah.
That is typically cheaper pricing, but you don't tend to get as good of customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the big companies who are really, really expensive. And honestly, I think when you get big companies, I think kind of you're no longer treated, you're almost like a number then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's that medium sized company where you're making good money. Like you're charging a typically quite a bit higher rate than the 2 man show, but you're not like out in like a complete different world than like a big monster company.
Yeah.
But then I just think, what's up?
Nothing.
Why are you looking at me like that?
No.
Why are you smiling?
Keep going.
Jesus. With a medium-sized company like that, you can really still keep it personal in your community and have the benefits of the operations, the systems, the workflows, the talent, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What? Go ahead.
In the last 2 minutes, you did this 4 or 5 times.
Why don't you say something?
But I didn't want you to forget your train of thought because you've been very forgetful today. So I was trying to be considerate. But once it got to so many, I just couldn't help but smile.
Ridiculous.
I know.
Like that?
Do you not even notice, when you do it, you don't even know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. A lot of times you'll say first. You'll be like,
Yeah. Damn.
That was a light one. They're pretty loud. I'll have to play it back for you.
Interesting.
I had one more thing, but I don't quite remember what it was. Something we did this weekend. I don't know. You got me doing it now.
I'm excited for the home. I just did it there.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I just opened my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Home and Garden Show.
Next weekend?
Next weekend.
Nice. Your cousin competes next weekend.
On Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that at?
Rylander? It's 2 hours away.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. Real exciting stuff coming along, going on. I have so many things in my head that I'm just so excited to do. I know it's going to be a long process, to finally implement a lot of things, but I'm really excited because it's been a lot of ideas I've had for probably over a year now. I just haven't had the time or the brain power to do it. So it'll be good. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good. It'll be really good to get out of this. It'd be good to get out of the starting of a business.
Yeah, I think once I get to come on and start putting in actual systems and processes and making sure things are running smoothly and kind of just overseeing everything, it'll really solidify us as a company and be more productive and more professional with customers.
Yeah, and be able to hold people more accountable for what they're supposed to be doing. It's gonna be so big.
Yeah.
So big.
It's just Shaun knows too much and is doing too many different things, so you just don't have the bandwidth to be in charge of everything. everything and everyone. It's just not possible. So it'll be good.
Yeah, it'd be really good. All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in. This weekend, so it's Friday. So tomorrow, if you want, REI-Con, you can still get tickets. REI-CON.info. Message us for promo code. Events tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to Sunday, baby.
Hell yeah. And maybe we'll have a good tutor episode for you with some stuff we learned.
I'm willing to think so.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have AJ on.
I don't want to have to. Fine.
You don't want to have guests in this room.
No, because then I have to rearrange. No, we don't have the chairs anymore.
We don't. They're at the office.
And also now we have this corner bookshelf that we can't.
We need to get the office set up.
Yeah, I just don't. I know I'm going to be really drained from socializing. So no offense, AJ. I know I'm going to want to be a hermit on Sunday with Shaun and not converse with anyone.
Makes sense.
Yep.
All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.
See ya.